Hello and welcome, everyone, to another episode of I am your Mitchell, coming to you live from somewhere. Would you like to be a guest on Closer Encounters? Do you know someone that would like to be a guest on Closer Encounters? Or maybe you have a story to share. Well, please shoot us an email. info@gmail.com. Again, that's closerencounters.info@gmail.com. For everything, Closer Encounters, updates, all things going on, check us out, www.facebook.com/Closer Encounters Radio. Again, www.facebook.com/Closer Encounters. And please don't forget to like, follow, Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Closer Encounters with my great host, brother Omar. How's everybody doing this afternoon? I hope everything is okay and nobody's gotten sick or anything like that. We decided that we needed to do another update on the COVID-19. We've been having a lot of requests, asking what's been going on and stuff and whatever. And we didn't do one yesterday. So Omar said, hey, you know what? We need to get this on here today. So here we are. We are back. Cool. I see Rob's with us. We got Marco with us. A couple others there. Glad to have you with us. Just some crazy stuff going on, and so
yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. Glad to be doing this with you, Clarence. Seems we've been pretty busy for the last week.
Yes,
which is a good thing. And I've got people messaging me today asking me, what's going on over here and what's going on over there, and so I thought, well, this is a good sign because obviously people are watching and they're listening to us and they're valuing the information that we're giving them. So I thought that we'd do a quick update on what's happening in North America, Europe, Australia, South America, kind of what have you, right? So, a couple of videos to share to, tug at your guys' hearts.
Yeah,
we've been saying for the past week to buy only what you need and think about the person that's coming up behind you. Think about other people's families, their children, and so I've got a video that I found coming out of Europe. I can't quite recall where in Europe, but it's a really heartfelt video of this woman talking about the very same thing what we've been saying over the last week, and talk about the California lockdown and what's happening in Florida and New York and
all over
Minnesota where you're at, and Washington, and the new death rates that are coming up, and things like that, right? And but before we get to that, we've got the April 4 and 5 2-day event coming up in a couple of weeks, called Contact with Closer Encounters, being hosted by Closer Encounters, of course. Hence I'll be co-hosting, and we've got 11 speakers coming up. It's going to be panel talks and webinars and one-on-one interviews and stuff like that. And so keep an eye out for that. And if you guys know someone who has contact, real life contact, and if they're willing to share their experience with us, send them our way. We'd love to have them on, and we'll try to keep their privacy and discretion as best as we can. If you don't feel comfortable being on video, then audio will suffice. And if you're uncomfortable with the audio, then I'm sure, I used to have this program on Skype where I could distort the person's voice. And so I'll see if I can load that up. And if you want to go from that, add a bit of mystery to it, then I'm sure we can probably figure something out to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can make we can make arrangements. That's not a big problem. Anything that they need,
So the big news that's in the world today, and it's really sad, but it's Italy. Here, I'm going to share my screen with you, Clarence.
Okay.
And we'll bring that up.
Yeah, I want to mention also with this, here a couple of days ago, China came out and said that, oh no, we have no new contagious people, everything's under control, no new deaths, no new anything. And lo and behold, they lied. So, go figure.
I was listening to where Amy and I getting a bit buzzed last night, right? So we decided to do like a music night, and so we're listening to all kinds of songs. And the one that came to mind was Snoop Dogg's from Last Meal. What's the use of the truth if you can't tell a lie sometimes?
Right.
So I tagged China in that because had the Chinese authorities been honest with what was going on way back in October,
right,
and November, and then December, had they been truthful and honest and released the information that that they should have shared with the world, a lot of this could have been prevented, right? And a lot of this could have it could have been stopped, or the battle at least wouldn't have been as desperate as it is right now. I just watched an update from the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, and the guy just looks extremely stressed out, and he's calling on for industry and individuals to set forth, and and start converting their factories into into manufacturing face shields and N95 masks and gloves and gowns and ventilators and kind of what have you, right? So that's in response to the statement that was released out of the European Union, where they have banned all export of medical equipment anywhere. And I'm thinking that's probably including Italy.
Yes.
Their death toll is so high. and so we're pretty much on our own when when it comes to stuff like that. Canada's going to have to manufacture its own equipment. United States is going to have to manufacture their own equipment, and Donald Trump's been calling for that. Industry is stepping forward, so it's kind of good to see. But fact of the matter is that we're on our own up here, and and we have to look out for one another. Now, you notice on the map, Canada wasn't red yesterday.
No, yeah.
Now it's red. If you notice, most of Europe wasn't red like this. Just a week ago, it was only Italy down here that was red, and Iran was red. And now all of a sudden, this is lighting up, right? California's gone red.
That's amazing. Totally amazing.
Yeah, and they've conveniently have taken China right here off the map and have made them gray. And like you said, China bullshitted. I seen a video of them where they had that a photo op, right, of all these nurses and stuff coming out celebrating, hoo, we got no more new cases, right? And then I looked on here, something that we've been following, for the past couple of weeks, and lo and behold, there's like 39 new cases coming out of China.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
So whatever China is saying, don't believe a fucking word these liars say. They're enemies of the human race, and now I'm certain of it, because their communist system there had no regard for human life. And they didn't value anybody's families, yours, mine's, or anyone's, and that's why they kept a hush hush on it. When doctors first came out, saying, "Hey, we've got something wrong here. There's a virus going around," and the Chinese, criminals essentially arrested them and charged them with spreading rumors. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know if you get arrested in China, you kind of just disappear and end up dead somewhere, and that's kind of what's happened to them. Right. So, really shame on China. And hopefully, after this is all done and over with, the world will put sanctions against China.
Oh, I'm sure.
Refuse to do any type of business with Chinese. They have shown absolute disregard for human life. And we know how they're into the lucky and golden and always looking to profit, right? So hopefully the world will put sanctions against these criminal states and bring them to their knees and show them what happens when they fuck around. Mm-hmm. And show such absolute disregard for human life. So personally, I'm extremely disappointed by the Chinese, and you can mark my word that I will never buy anything Chinese ever again. Yeah. If it says made in China, I'm not going to buy it. I'll pay an extra couple of bucks and buy it when it's manufactured someone else. I'm not going to be shopping at dollar stores anymore, and anything like that, fuck them.
Yeah.
So, it's because of them.
It'd be tough not to buy stuff from China in a sense, because I mean everything you pick up anymore has made in China on it. You know what I'm saying? That's how ridiculous it is here.
Yeah.
Because we relied on them to give us everything. That's right. The makers of everything. The United States has got to start ramping up and making our own products. We got to stop relying on other countries. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, exactly. And Canada is in that very same position as the United States. We depend on everyone else to bring us our stuff, and then now when we do need stuff, these nations are banning export and such, which is understandable. They have to look out for their own people as well. Right?
Sure, absolutely. But,
but when it comes to a state like China, absolutely, they should have sanctions put against them. But we shouldn't punish all of Southeast Asia here, because a lot of people have ignorance in them, and they don't know what China really is. They think this entire region down here is China, right? Like Taiwan and Cambodia and Korea and all that, right? Like I watched I seen a post there a couple of weeks ago about when Donald Trump was in India, and people were asking, "What is India?" Right? Where is India? So when people mention China, a lot of people just automatically think that if you look Oriental, you must be Chinese,
Right.
which is incorrect. That's false thinking,
Yep.
because China is only just one country in an entire region, right? So there's stuff that's made in Taiwan, there's stuff that's made in Thailand, and there's stuff that's made in Cambodia and Laos, and on and
Right.
on and on. Right? Those industries are okay. They're just as much a victim in this as anybody else is. So
Yep.
just if it says made in China, don't buy it. If it says made in Taiwan, Thailand, whatever, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But the Chinese must be punished for their lack of respect as
Yes.
to what they've done, and they're still doing it. They're still lying, right? And they're not sending um, the proper numbers to the World Health Organization, and
No.
then that's really putting the rest of the world in extreme danger.
It's
So
ridiculous. It sure is. Totally
yeah,
ridiculous.
so here's the map of the world today, guys. Remember, this is updated once every 24 hours. It's a pretty reliable map. We've been going back and forth, right, Clarence, to
Hmm.
like this over here and this over here, and we've been comparing numbers. And
Oh my gosh, look at that. That's jumped almost
yeah,
double already.
yeah,
Yeah.
the numbers seem okay. Now, it was only a week and a half ago that this number was sitting at 100,000.
Yeah.
And it was just a couple of days ago, this number was sitting at 200,000. And it was just a day or so ago where this number was sitting at 250,000 or 260,000, something like that. So it's just
Right.
massively climbing, right? Death rate is, slowly but surely creeping out. But, my biggest concern right now, Clarence, is Italy. Italy
Yes.
is in the wartime measures now, to where they have to decide who lives and who dies.
Yeah,
And
it was mentioned that and I don't know how true this is. It sounds pretty heartless, but if you were 80 years of age and you have a underlying condition such as emphysema or something else going on with you, and that they're not going to help you out. They're more into helping the younger people and the ones that aren't as sick, or whatever. Um, and I don't know how true that is or whatever, but that was one of the words that was out on the news. But
yeah, I've heard the same thing, and it actually really makes a lot of sense, because Italy is, they're in big trouble right now. And I heard a few days ago that they were going to have to start choosing who lives and who dies, and they
yeah,
were saying that people that are older are not going to get the medical help that they need, right?
right,
So it's kind of goes parallel to what you're saying, and they're most concerned about young people.
yep,
Uh, in their 50s and 40s and younger than that, because these people are carrying the virus, and sometimes they don't get sick, but they're transmitting it, and they know that
right,
if they put ventilators on older people, that all they're doing is just buying them minutes, right?
right.
Chances of them succumbing to this disease is very, very high. So they're not even wasting the time anymore to do that, which is really sad, and imagine putting yourself in the feet of the doctors and the nurses who have to make that difficult choice on who lives and who dies,
Yeah,
right? So the mental health of these people is really my biggest concern, right? Because one, they're fatigued, they're making choices that they shouldn't really have to make, especially in the 21st century that we're in.
hmm,
And for them to live with this after this is over is really what my biggest concern is, right?
yeah. Hey, we got
Now,
a couple really good comments here. Christina, hello, Christina, my Bella, how are you? She writes, the strange thing is we don't know nothing about Russia and all its statistics. And which, is right. I don't know anything about Russia much at all, other than the fact that the way I understand it is they heard about this hitting, probably before the U.S. And because they own so much of the border, that they just closed it down immediately, and they're not saying nothing to anybody about anything themselves. So why that is, I have really no idea. What the deal is there, but crazy stuff. You know, and then Kevin Cummings wants to know, do you think they're poisoning us all? No, that's not. I don't believe that. I still tend to think this is an airborne disease, and depending on the jet streams and stuff and whatever, it falls where it falls, and most of it now isn't so much about the air; it's so much about persons as it is.
Yeah, yeah,
It has to do more with people contacting other people and leaving contaminants where they may, and
yeah.
that's
They're
where a lot
saying,
of this is.
yeah, they're saying that plastic surfaces, metal surfaces. If someone is infected with this, and they spit there, or they rub their eyes and touch it, and they leave it there, this virus can stay alive up to 9 days on that surface. So if somebody was there a week ago, let's say on a bus stop, and you go and sit down on a bench, and you rub your eye, or touch your mouth or something, there's a highly likely that you'll get infected,
Hmm.
because this thing just has such a its longevity is 9 days, which is extremely long, and it's unheard of. A
Right.
disease that stays alive like that in the elements.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
that guy outside, baby. He's fixing his car. Okay, okay. Now, here's the stats for Russia, and whatever information is coming out of Russia, we really can't rely on that information either, because we know that Russia is ruled by Putin,
Yeah.
and Putin is an ex-KGB, and they're very secretive, right?
Yep.
And they're not going to really release any information that they think that they don't have to. So they're just kind of like, from the looks of the numbers here, they're just appeasing the World Health Organization by just giving them a few numbers here and a few numbers there. But I bet you that these numbers right here are not
Not even
accurate.
close. No,
They're
they
not
can't be.
accurate whatsoever, because you
No.
just had China. Even if they close the borders, right? They still have international travel coming in from all over the fucking world, right? So these numbers are definitely not accurate, and they're behaving just like China is. So
Hmm.
they're I wouldn't put too much merit into the Russian numbers right now. Rob, I heard on here saying that New York looks really red,
Yeah.
right? So we'll come here to North America.
Hey,
And
Jolene, how are you, dear? I see Jolene's with us. She says that she had surgery yesterday. After my procedure, they received the call to shut everything down. The nurses are terrified on what's to come. Wow. Where was
yeah,
that at, Jolene? If you don't mind me asking.
oh,
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, look at New York. Yeah. And I found out, as you
New
know, on
York.
our last episode from my mother, that it has hit my hometown, and I haven't heard anything bad yet. No one's died yet, as far as I know, in my hometown, but it is there. So, and they live. My sister and them live. If you see my mouse here, way over here in the western side of the state, and my brother and mother live on the eastern side towards New York City more, and so that's how far it's spread across the state. So, yeah,
This is the really disturbing number right here. In New York, recovered 0,
none.
and
Yeah, no
they've
recoveries.
confirmed 10,356 cases with 56 deaths. And
Hmm.
then in New York, in the state, it tells you exactly which counties have the cases, and which doesn't,
Look up
right?
Steuben County, just and Livingston, just out of curiosity.
New York 6211, Westchester 1385, Nassau 1234, Suffolk 662, Rockland 262, Unknown 158. That's a bit strange. Unknown.
Yeah.
You figured they would have that number. Orange 84, Albany 70, Erie 47, Monroe 46, Dutchess 36, Saratoga 24. What's that? Schenectady 21.
Schenectady. Yeah.
Schenectady, okay.
Schenectady, that's down by Corning in that area.
Rensselaer 15, Onondaga 13, Ulster 12, Putnam 12, Tompkins 11, Sullivan 8, Niagara 4, Clinton 3, Ontario 3, Columbia 3.
Steuben, that's where my birthplace is. They got 2 there.
Steuben has 2, Wyoming 2, Hamilton 2, Shakopee 2, Broome 2, Chenango 2, Green 2. So seems
Livingston County 1. There you go. Yep.
Livingston, that's the one you were talking about, right, Clarence?
Yep. That's yep.
So it has 1.
Yep.
Let's X that, and then let's go over to the next hardest hit. And then this is actually very disturbing. California is in a lockdown for 3 weeks. It's almost like a soft martial law.
Yep.
In San Francisco. So San Francisco has 1,267 confirmed with 24 deaths.
0 recovery.
And 0 in recovery. So that's very bad.
I'm wondering if the recovery thing, if it's just they're not getting the numbers in fast enough to put it in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, see that when there says recovery 0 too. Yeah. I'm beginning to think they're not actually showing the recoveries.
Yeah, maybe they just haven't updated them, right? So let's keep an eye out for this number right here.
Yeah.
83 dead in Washington State.
Yeah. Well, that was the one that had the most outbreaks to begin with. You remember the nursing home and stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's
this
where state turned red. They turned New York red before they did this area.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Right. So I was, they're reporting 0 recovered in Washington as well. And
but still, they got 1,524 actual cases. So yeah, still quite high.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Canada here and see what's going on in Canada. Canada has 1,146 confirmed, 12 deaths. One of them happened yesterday. Now
there they got recovered. They got 16 there.
16 recovered there. 1,118 that are active. We have 377 in Ontario, 348 in British Columbia, where I'm at.
Yeah.
Alberta has 195, Quebec 139, Manitoba 17, Saskatchewan 26, Nova Scotia 15, New Brunswick 11, Prince Edward Island 2, Newfoundland 4, and repatriated 12, meaning that whoever came from outside the country or cruise ships and kind of what have you.
Yeah. Gee whiz, man.
The Prime Minister today declared all non-essential travel to the Northwest Territories, which is kind of like up here.
Yeah.
This area right here. We have Northwest Territories, which kind of goes like this and over and like that. It used to be one territory about 15 years ago, and then they added a new territory called Nunavut, which is right here, and then we have the Yukon, which is essentially right here connected to Alaska.
Hey, Rob says his father's watching. Cool. Hello, Mr. Yaxemeyer.
So here's Alaska, and the Yukon
Awesome.
is right here, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Now, I had a friend of mine concerned earlier on that had sent me a message asking what's going on in Illinois. So I pulled this up, and
Yeah.
state by state. Um, uh,
Oh my goodness, look at that, New York. Wow.
March 20th, 2020. So this is from yesterday. So
Yesterday's. Yeah.
New York 4152, and my buddy is in Illinois. So Illinois has 422 confirmed cases. Now, I'm not sure the recovery or the death rate on this because
Right.
it doesn't really state it on here, but it gives us a little bit of information as to what's going on there. You guys can go to this site. I'll post a link in the comments.
Yep.
And you can download a PDF or whatever the case may be, and there may be more information inside the PDF.
Yeah, there's a lot of things here you can do with this. You can go country by country, you can go town by town, county by county. So it's a really good system to check in on. So yeah, I suggest anybody that's interested, please download it and put it in your
I
put
the link in the private chat because I can't put it in the comments.
Oh, I'm
live
sorry.
Comments.
I'll do that. Yeah,
So
let
if
me.
you want to copy and paste it and put it into the live comments.
Yep, I'll do that right now.
We'll come back here. Oh, not here, but we'll come back over here, and
there you go, folks. We'll put that right in there for you, so you guys can grab that and download it and put it in your bookmarks or wherever. Yep.
This right here is the most concerning right now. Italy has 53,000 cases, and they had 6,500 new cases clearance in the last 24 hours.
Wow.
And they got a total of 4,825 deaths. And this is the staggering number, which the world should really be concerned about, is that they've had 793 deaths in the last 24 hours.
Jesus.
Drink. I feel like I'm going to puke. They've got a total of 6,072 that have recovered. And now keep in mind is that probably this number's going up because they're being forced to choose on who lives and who dies.
Yeah.
Right. So, probably the same thing is going to happen here in North America. So we're going to see these numbers that are just going to stagger, and it's going to be mind-blowing to us.
Yeah.
Over the coming days and weeks. United States has 24,000 cases, 4,700 in the last 24 hours, and they've got 288 deaths, with 32 new deaths in the last 24 hours.
Jesus.
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I should be okay. Maybe it's just watching those numbers in Italy.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, that's really when my stomach got upset when I was looking at this, and I almost in my mouth. Let's look at. We have a lot of friends and followers in the UK.
Yeah.
UK is in big trouble right now. They're shutting everything down. They've got a total of 5,000 cases with 1,000 new ones. 233 deaths, and this is why they're panicking, right? Is because they've had 56 deaths in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now look at the numbers, though, right? They got 93 that have recovered out of 5,000.
Yeah.
So imagine that this number right here in red is going to climb.
Sure. Yep.
Now we have friends who are in Ireland. So let me just quickly see if I can spot Ireland on here.
Yeah, Rob, you're absolutely right, bud. They definitely should be calling it the dark times in Italy, and it is, unfortunately. And the main reason, um, he also says, really thought who sits back and makes the call, who should live and die. And that's the thing with Italy right now is they have no help there. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Um,
they've essentially been abandoned.
yeah, they are just they have no supplies coming in. They have nothing there, and it's just one of them deals that as sad as it is and as sad as it sounds, they just can't get the help there. And they're just swamped. Period. Uh, you would think, and I don't know. I mean, every country has their problems, obviously, but you would hope that somehow we could send medevac. We could send Air National Guard or somebody in there to give them a hand or do something. I don't know. Maybe they're working on that. I can't say, but you know,
Yeah,
hopefully, hopefully
from
they
the
can
looks
get
of
some
it,
help.
yeah, from the looks of it, Clarence, it seems like Italy is being abandoned
Yeah,
because there's really no aid coming to Italy from anywhere from the European Union.
yeah,
Uh, you figure if because they're so close to the European Union, that there would be like massive aid coming for them, right?
right.
It just doesn't seem to be the case, and that's why doctors are being forced
Yeah,
to pick and choose on who dies. And now they're not even looking at people that are like 70, 80 years old
right.
and end up. They're not even wasting their time, which is pretty sad.
Yeah,
Uh, that this has to come down to that. And again, this goes back to China.
yep.
Had they been accurate with their numbers and they were truthful in the beginning, all of this could have been avoided.
Well, that's what the WHO is for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh, and that's the reason why they have this, so it can be forewarned and whatever. So why would you go against that in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Because of embarrassment or what? It's
yeah,
not their fault that they got it unless they did make it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
yeah, who knows? You know what I'm
And
saying?
I really don't think they made it. I'm not buying into these
No,
stupid
I'm not really. No,
conspiracy theories. I keep
no.
seeing like these really retarded posts out there that
Oh, I know it.
car accidents kill 3,000 people a day.
Yeah.
Um, heart attacks kill 35,000
No.
people, and fucking diabetes kills 40,000 people, and
Yeah.
people are just buying into that, and they're not
Hmm.
really critically thinking and using that organ between the ears,
Right.
that they should be looking at and saying, well, a heart disease, a person can't really pass heart disease around with a fucking sneeze.
Right.
Car accidents, they don't infect other people. So,
Right.
there's no comparison between the two. There's silly posters, derived by, people that are paranoid and are heavily into conspiracy theories and not really basing their thinking
Yeah.
on reality and on what's actually going on the ground. Like it really bothers me. Like this morning, I seen in a post that outlined how many car accidents people kill and blah blah blah.
Right. Right.
And I left a comment on there, and I was like, well, how many people got infected by that fucking car accident? Right
Yeah.
over here, if you sneeze and you touch a bus pole or a bus stop or a cart or a trolley or a basket at a grocery store, it
Hmm.
can live on the surface for up to 9 days, and you go home and you fucking have it. How does a car accident do that?
Right.
Right? How does a cardiovascular disease does that? How does diabetes does that? It doesn't.
Nope.
So stop buying into these stupid posts, and these people shouldn't even be posting. And what I suggest is if you do see a post like that, report it.
Report it. Yeah. That
Report
take
the
it
post.
down. Report it. Unfollow the person that's doing it. Doing whatever.
Yeah, report the
Uh.
post, and
Yeah.
if that person needs to be banned from YouTube or from Facebook for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days,
Yeah.
then so be it, because these people are passing around fake information, which
Scaring
is
the hell
going
out of
to
people. Yep.
cause death.
Yep.
Like literally,
Exactly.
it's going to cost people their lives, because then they're going to look at that, and because they're not taking it serious, like we've seen on the beaches, Clarence.
Yep.
And we've seen it in bars and restaurants like CJ's over here in Kamloops, right, holding a St. Patrick's party, and the place is packed.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's a state of emergency in BC, and they're saying, hey, no more than 10 people, and yet these people are not heeding the advice, and they're just carrying on and not taking it seriously. And it's due to fact of people posting stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. Of car accidents kill this many people a year.
Yeah.
Like really, you're running around the world claiming that you are an entire, an enlightened person, and yet you're, throwing out stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. So, it really makes me question whether that person is really enlightened or not. Right. It's like that.
Exactly.
Yesterday, there's not many enlightened citizens out there. There's just a lot of retarded people. And you got to call it retarded where it's retarded. And I don't give a fuck if people take offense to that term. I don't care. I'm from the old school. I'm fucking raised in the 80s, and the political correctness is not part of me, and I don't allow it to become a part of me. If you're being retarded, I'm going to call you out on it and saying you're being retarded. Simple as that. I'm not going to say, I'm going to use political correct terms. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Especially in times like these, right? So, report these people, whoever's posting these posts, and have them banned from fucking Facebook. Even if it's for a month, we'll get a reprieve out of these people for at least a month.
Yeah.
And this misinformation won't be going around. It really pisses me off, Clarence. It's
I agree.
It's not
definitely.
And use your fucking head.
Yeah. Kevin asked a question, and I'm going to kind of say something about this real quick. He says, what about frequency waves or using LOL electronic grid? And there's been a lot of talk about this 5G thing and stuff,
Yeah.
And when I first I captured a video, I sent it around, gave it to people to watch, and whatever. In one way it did make sense. But I should know better myself, and I blame myself for doing that. But I went back and actually started researching this 5G crap that everybody's posting about. And here's the deal about 5G, folks. Okay, it's only good for your cell phones. Okay, it doesn't work right now on computers and different other things. All right, they don't have a whole lot of towers up yet. It's barely running. The 5G that you actually see, like with T-Mobile and that, is what they call it in-house 5G. It's not actually 5G yet. It's still a 4G network, but they're calling it 5G. Okay, and you can only get this in certain hotspots, and you're lucky to even get the signal. Okay, don't let this shit fool you when they tell you, "Oh, I got it." And no, you don't. Okay, it's not even up and running yet. All right. China is about the only ones that actually have 5G, and it's very limited there also. Okay.
It's only like in Wuhan province, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can stop with the 5G thing. Okay. There's nothing there valid to actually show that it's causing any of this. All right?
And again, this goes back to that old conspiracy theory of like, the governments are spreading this, or car accidents kill this many people. These, they're grasping at straws to try to make sense of something that they've been researching for a long time, because they're conspiracy-minded based. And when they see something like this, they want to try to connect the dots on everything where, there are no dots to connect.
Right.
Like these guys are saying, oh, well, 5G is activating the nano dust that they've, chemtrails, that they've been spraying us, and, they're activating these bugs inside us, and they can remotely shut down our organs and blah, blah, blah. And it just sounds like just a whole pile of bullshit. And these guys are trying to connect dots where, there are no dots to be connected.
Yeah. Right? Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 5G is not good for you, or what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that at all. Exactly.
I'm not saying that at all either. All right. We don't know yet what 5G will or will not do to the human person. Okay. But the fact remains is we don't have 5G capable of doing anything yet. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, when 4G was coming up, these very same people were claiming the very same
exactly the same thing. Yes,
You know, and then when
exactly.
3G came out, they were saying the very same thing that they're saying about 5G,
Yeah,
right? The retarded people that fucking to have no common sense whatsoever, and they're grasping at straws and trying to connect things to
yeah,
get Facebook likes and to get Instagram likes and followers, and that's all it is, right?
yeah,
There's no real hardcore evidence of what these guys are saying is actually true.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
now the theory that that I've been really looking at and trying to understand and trying to wrap my mind around it is what you've been saying, Clarence, is with the meteor airburst over China, and then we looked at the jet streams. What was that,
Yes,
like yesterday or the day before? We looked at the jet streams, and wherever all these hotspots are, where COVID is blowing up, it just happens to be on the very same jet stream
it's
that
identical.
that this pandemic is blowing up on, right?
Yes,
So for me, I'm trying to look at it critically and trying to go back in history as well and saying, okay, well, these airbursts have happened before, and diseases and bugs have been delivered this way before,
yeah,
and and we've had diseases like this before. Now, when we were talking about like aliens and UFOs and stuff the other day, we were trying to look at the ancient alien aspect of this whole thing, because I know a lot of us follow the accept the ancient alien theory.
yeah,
And in the ancient alien theory, when the bubonic plague happened, and when the Black Plague happened, and the Spanish influenza happened, there are reports that UFOs were flying around, and there were things spraying mists, everywhere, and then right after, people witnessed these beings spraying mist in fields and such.
hmm,
There was a plague, right
yes,
after that, not too long after that. So I'm trying to like interconnect like those dots, like historical dots, and trying to see whether your theory holds any water or not, right? And so far your bucket doesn't have a hole in it, because everything that we're looking at is directly pointing to
yeah,
a
pan,
meteor delivery system. We all understand the panspermia, where life has been delivered to Earth via meteorites and comets and asteroids and such. So why not this as well?
right,
Right? And also the precedented acts that the governments across the world are taking, for a simple flu.
yep,
Right? These guys are saying, oh, it's just a flu, it's just a flu. Well, if it was just a flu, why such a response?
right.
Now,
Well,
you know,
here's something I want to throw out there too, and nobody ever thinks about this. All right. And this crossed my mind yesterday, and I was going to mention this to you earlier, Omar. But here we have all of these aircraft going across the nations from one place to another, right?
yeah.
What do they do with their toiletry?
I think they empty it once they get to the airport.
Sometimes they do. But
Yeah,
I've
I don't
also
think they're.
know for a fact that they've actually opened the floodgates in the back and let it spray right out the back of the airplane.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen
heard
that
that
happen,
as well. Yeah,
you know?
I've
So
actually seen videos on things like that.
yeah, it does happen. So I'm not saying that this is what's caused it, okay? I'm sticking to my meteorite story, okay? But I'm just saying people don't know what's being thrown down upon them from the air. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Like how sometimes you're walking around and you just get like this droplet of water that lands on you, but
From
it's a
nowhere.
cloud,
Yeah.
right? So it could be that somebody's shit particle just landed on you.
You never know. It's very scary when you really stop and think about it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Oh, for sure, man,
if
for
you
sure.
look up and see a jet airliner leaving the scene, then you know you got something going on there. Yeah.
Rob here should have opened the gates on the girl who licked the toilet.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Should have
Yeah,
sucked it right in there. Oh my gosh, yeah, terrible.
but, yeah, I'm sticking. So far the best evidence that I've seen, Clarence, is the meteor theory, because the unprecedented response from the world governments is unlike the world has ever seen. And if
Yes,
this was just part of the flu, they would not have shut down borders.
no,
So
exactly. Yeah,
my thinking is that the World Health Organization and the doctors and the scientists, they know what this is, but they just
yeah,
simply don't understand it, because
right.
there's nothing like it on the planet before, and they realized that this is an extraterrestrial bug that's come into our bubble.
Yep.
And just look at how people are behaving just with so-called a regular flu.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're shooting each other, they're stabbing each other, especially like in Baltimore. I read an article which I'll talk about in a few, but panic buying,
Yep.
hoarding,
Yep.
now this is just from a flu. Now
Right.
imagine if these scientists in the World Health Organization or our governments came out and told the public the truth and said, hey, look, this is an extraterrestrial agent that we don't understand, and we're trying to figure out to fight or how to fight this. Now,
Yeah.
imagine if they told that to the public, what a panic there would be right across the globe.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
So I'm actually really happy with the fact that the government is like not really coming out and saying this, because if
Right.
they had done this, COVID deaths would
Yeah.
look like a drop in the bucket,
Yep.
right, compared to what people will do to each other.
Yes.
Right, so that's actually kind of a good thing that that these people are actually not telling the truth, because these citizen persons just simply cannot handle the truth.
No.
They just can't
Exactly.
handle it because they're I don't even know what to call them, man. I'm flabbergasted by just simply by their response. And 1 minute they're saying, oh, love each other and help each other, and then when a moment like this arrives, they're shooting people and stabbing people and fucking
Exactly. Yeah.
over and buying everything up and then going on Amazon and other sites and trying to profit off of it and trying to make money off of people. Just two-faced people that I just simply I don't understand this. And perhaps after all this is done and said and over with, all this evidence will be there, and I'm going to have to go and dig through it and maybe write a book on on how these persons respond, these phantom people. And and this is like really beginning to.
Wow. Can you read that? Oh my God.
What's that?
BJ just commented, holy Toledo. I
Oh,
went to the grocery store Thursday, took 3 pairs of gloves with me, put a pair on before I went in, noticed the stockers were wearing gloves. The deli guy wore gloves, got to the checkout, and cashier was not wearing gloves. I handed her a pair and asked her to wear them to check out my items. She refused. The one person that touches everything that everyone else touches refused. I was furious. She didn't even clean off the scanner between customers.
Oh my God.
See, that's the shit. That's the shit that we got to worry about. See, this is how brain dead that some people in society are. Unbelievable.
That citizen
Unbelievable.
person should be detained and
No kidding.
until this is
Yeah.
done and over with, because they're obviously a danger to the community. Obvious. Just stupid, absolutely stupid. And you know what's really stupid, Clarence, is yesterday we went to the liquor store, and the government has been saying for the last couple of days, no cash transactions, nothing.
No cash,
right?
no, exactly. Got to be on the card.
I am standing there waiting to pay for my order, and this girl comes in, buys 2 bottles of wine. She's just totally liquored, pulls out a $20 and a $5 bill and hands it to the guy.
Oh, geez.
And then there's that guy. What was he saying to us, honey?
He was saying that
yeah, that everybody's paranoid, and there's nothing to it, and blah blah blah, and then fucking and then he accepts cash.
Oh,
It somehow he contradicted himself. He had said something before, and then he took the cash. And we were standing there looking at this guy, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Just said, "No, I'm not touching that money. Take your card, tap it over here, and get your shit and get the fuck out of here." And that should have been his response. That would have been my response.
Jolene says, watching the reaction of the public to this, it explains why they can't talk about Morgellons. Everyone would panic. Well, that's true.
That's right. We've been talking about Morgellons for the last few days, eh, Clarence?
Yep, sure have. And I believe it come from the same place. I think it came in extraterrestrial, panspermia. Call it what you will, but yeah. We have kind of proof on that, we're going to do a show, maybe tomorrow night. We should gather up all our stuff, Omar, and actually do a big show about panspermia tomorrow. You
Yeah,
know,
that sounds good. That sounds good.
seriously, you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah.
we'll do that. Let's make a show tomorrow. We'll do a show tomorrow, folks, and spread this around. Let them know. We'll do a show tomorrow night about panspermia, and we'll talk about this. No
Yeah,
doubt
and if you
about it.
guys want to be on show, and if you have any information that's particular to panspermia, you'll be more than welcome to come on and discuss it. But if it has to do with anything else, you will not be coming on to the show.
Yeah.
It's just, for panspermia. This has nothing to do with aliens and UFOs or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
no.
We have
It's
a
a
day set up for that. So
yep.
don't even bother sending a message to come on and talk about this and that. It's just strictly panspermia, delivery agent of these bugs that are being, either being sent to our planet or just naturally arriving here due to, just a natural cause and effect of things.
Right.
So great idea. Great idea.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll
Who I'd
have a
really
big
like to
show.
hear from on this, on the panspermia is our buddy Rob Yokes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yothmeyer. Sorry, Rob, if I pronounced your last name incorrectly, but
Yuxmeyer.
yeah, Rob Y. That's what I'll call him, Rob
Rob,
Y.
why?
Yeah,
Rob, why?
hey, Rob, why did you do that?
Why, Rob? Why?
Why? For God's sakes, Rob.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here's
that'd
the
be
deal.
awesome.
A friend of mine sent me a link, more like a letter, earlier today, and I read an article yesterday in the newspaper where Superstore and Loblaws, independent grocers and stuff like that, what they're starting to do right across the country is that they're installing shields at the cashier. So the cashier is protected
Right.
from whoever comes there, right? So he sent me a message, and then now I found out that Save On Foods here in Canada, or in Western Canada anyhow, is doing the same thing. So they're saying that they're working around the clock, and they're installing these shields to protect the frontline workers. And these guys are more important now than ever before, because imagine if everybody at your grocery stores got sick.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
You're not getting no food because those guys are not opening.
Yep.
Right. So, I don't want to put anyone in panic, but again, this is to heed the advice that when you go to a grocery store, wear gloves, protect yourself, and
Yep.
most importantly, protect the workers that are working there, because if it's not for them, you're not going to have anything, because we know, I've written articles on this, that at any given time in any city across the world, we only have about 72 hours worth of food.
Yeah. Not
Right?
only that, folks, but when you go to get gas and you handle that gas nozzle, do the
What
same thing.
good
You
idea.
know,
I didn't even
do the
think about
same
that.
damn thing. You know.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Good call.
Well,
Very
that's
good call on
people
that.
don't, but it's just little things like that.
Yeah,
Filling up
yeah,
with gas and stuff like that. Wear your gloves. Worst
yeah,
case scenario, grab that squeegee out of the squeegee box and give it a good rinse job. You know what I'm saying, or whatever.
yeah,
But
man. Sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Here, I wanted to just quickly touch on this.
Yes.
Clarence, where did it go now? We've got friends, especially my really good friend, Sir Kevin Cummings.
Hmm.
Huge respects for that man. He's a human being, and I respect him a lot. In fact, I love the guy very much. I've known him for a few years now, and we've developed a fantastic relationship.
Hmm.
We had him on the show the other day. He tells you
Yeah.
how it is. He doesn't beat around the bush.
Nope.
In his country, in Ireland, he's in Northern Ireland. They really don't break it down, whether it's Northern Ireland or Southern Ireland, but all of Ireland right now has 785 total cases. They've got 102 new ones in the last 24 hours, 3 total deaths, and thankfully there was no new deaths in the last 24 hours.
Good deal.
Another one that I wanted to touch up on was Australia, because we have a lot of people that follow us in Australia, and I also have a very good friend in a few of them, in fact, in Australia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our Australian friends.
Yeah.
We have a total of 1,072 cases in all of Australia, 144 new cases in the last 24 hours, with a total of 7 deaths. And again, thankfully, there has been no new deaths, and they've had 46 totally recovered,
Wow.
which is good to see. Now, this is something that I didn't see on here before, Clarence. Yesterday, now and yesterday.
Oh, wow, cool.
I didn't notice that before, so I wonder if I just didn't look for it or whether this link was just added.
It
So
may not have been on there. Yeah, I don't remember seeing it
let's take
either.
a look at this. I'll open this in a new tab so
Okay.
that we can keep these numbers on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Go like that. Oh, it's happened. So I'll take this and I'll drop that over there, and I'll toss this one.
You can just click back and forth between them. Yeah.
Oh, this is the wrong one. Oops. Let me see if I can now. There we go. So this one right here is today, now, and this one here.
The one on the left is today. The one on the right is yesterday, right?
Yeah, the one on the right is yesterday. This one right here on the left is today. Okay. So China be claiming shit, right? So let's take a look. Nothing reported here. Remember this number right here yesterday had 39?
Yep.
Right? Today it's gone. You guys can reference that. Go back and take a look at our video from a couple days ago. It'll show you 39 right here. So again, these numbers are being fucked around with.
Now it still shows 81,008 on both of them. So
yeah, I'm just wondering if I yesterday. There we go.
There we
go. Now we're on yesterday. Okay, see China yesterday, new cases 41. Right here.
Yeah.
41 cases yesterday they had, and I even seen it on the news this morning that again they're claiming that 2 days in a row they haven't had any new cases, but here it is, right? So somebody's lying. Either these guys are lying or China be lying, but I'm thinking China be lying because those guys can't be trusted.
No.
Look at this. Yesterday, Italy had 627 deaths, and today 793.
Yeah.
4825 today. Yesterday's number was 4,032. USA, where's USA? Right here, 2412. Right here, yesterday was 19. So, these numbers are pretty accurate. Look at that. Yesterday, United States had 49 deaths. And today it was slightly lower with 32. So, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know how much merit to put into it.
Well, but the thing is, though, even when one person dies, it raises the total up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, yeah. Even though the death rate may have went down 1 or 2 people, it still raises the whole total up, regardless of how you look at it. Yeah, crazy.
So this is really cool. Let's keep an eye. Let's keep checking back on this one.
Yeah, see, China's the same for both days as far as that goes. See, they're not giving us the information.
Yeah, they're not.
See, they're almost identical. So actually, they are identical. Yeah. So they're not giving us the updates. So that's what's going on there.
That we won, so we don't have to give World Health Organization any more numbers.
Right.
So probably stop giving them numbers, thinking that they won. Right. But on the other hand, they just built 2 fucking hospitals, and those things are loaded. Right. So they probably don't want to give the real number. They're fucking criminals and crooks, and sanctions should be put against them as far as I'm concerned.
Now, Christina says that China sent doctors in Italy to help, and Cuba too. Huh. I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I heard something on the news yesterday where they were saying that they're sending Chinese scientists and researchers and doctors to Italy, and that they're there to help them, but again, it just could be that these guys are saying, okay, well, we're gonna have all these people here dead, So let's send a few researchers to Italy to appease the system,
or
right?
something.
So
Yeah.
that there's no real follow for these guys, right? So I don't trust anything China does now. Nothing at all. As far as I'm concerned, they can go fuck their hat. And really, that's it. So here's the video that that I wanted to share with you. First off, take a look at this guy right here. Is Premier Doug Ford of Ontario. Look at the grim look on his face.
Yeah, he is wore out.
Yeah, look at that very grim look on his face. He's this guy is tired, and I'm not going to play this video. I'll just share the link. But I just wanted you guys to see the stress level that these guys are going through. And I've been watching Premier Ford. Remember, this is the guy. His brother, Rob Ford, was the mayor of Toronto who got caught smoking crack.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
This is his older brother, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Rob Ford died last year from some disease that he had. And then Rob Ford here went on to become the Premier of Ontario. But just, here, I'll play it for a couple of seconds, and hopefully you can hear it.
Yeah.
See, check out that grim look on this guy's face, man. It's really worrisome. Here, I'll see if
I don't. Oh, you know what? Hang on just a second. I think. Let me do this again. I'm sorry.
Bring the volume.
For
some reason, when I share my
did we did you share audio on that, Omar? At the bottom.
Yeah, for some reason when I try.
Oh, we got a lag going on here.
Close a couple of these off.
Here we go.
That could really be what's causing it.
Yeah, we got a small lag there. It sounds well, they're probably throttling down the internet, like we were talking about before, because of all the people that are online, because everybody's home and.
Oh, God. Anyway, I'll share this link, but really, this right here is the video that I actually wanted to share. My computer's just being a piece of shit now. See, I keep hitting the volume button here to increase the volume, and it's just not opening it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you fucking piece of shit.
Modern technology. Yeah.
F3, maybe that'll do it.
Yeah, you might have to
No, not that. Fuck.
You might have to go up there and hit your circle thing, refresh it.
I might have to right here. Device, system, sound. I'll fucking jack everything up. Yeah, fuck it. So here I'll play. This is really heartfelt. So you guys keep this in mind when you go shopping.
Rob. Yes, it can, Rob. I actually did a post about that.
So here it goes. Tell me if you can hear it, Clarence. If not, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
And then maybe you can play, because my computer is just a piece, right?
Sure.
Places you can count on one hand.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
These iconic places are now symbols of a country at a standstill.
So here we are, Saturday afternoon on a beautiful spring day. You would expect tourists, demonstrators, all kinds of people to be walking through here. With galleries, shops, and restaurants closed, they just aren't coming. It feels like being on a film set or on a postcard.
Look at these people, eh?
Oh my goodness.
No social distancing there.
Push and shove, push and shove.
Critical care nurse made a tearful of appeal after being unable to buy food and veg.
Here it is.
Frankly, we should all be ashamed that that has to happen. It's unacceptable. These are the very people that we will all need to look after perhaps us or our loved ones in the weeks ahead.
More food is arriving every day. There's no shortage of food production. The crucial thing is that we need people to calm down and buy only what they.
Yeah, that's it, man. I just wanted to show that girl. She was only on for a couple of seconds, but just take a look at her. She's almost in tears.
Yeah.
Here, I'll play it again.
Shelves of basic foods.
You see that? This person is in grief over basic foods like bread, eggs, milk, sugar, flour, things like that.
Sure.
This right here is the consequence of hoarding and buying what you don't need. Right? So next time you're in the stores, remember this.
Stop it.
Frankly, we should all be ashamed.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's all I got. So I'll just stop sharing my screen now.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to show you something that happened yesterday. President Trump, of course, did his update, like he does every day. He had one this afternoon also that I didn't actually get to watch the whole thing on it. But the damn news media, they just can't seem to get their crap together, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And Trump finally had enough. And he let this guy have it, and I'm going to play it for you. And it was just crazy stuff. I thought,
And no, this is not a fucking Church of Trump.
Church of Trump, no.
Yeah, no, this is not the Church of Trump. All right, that comment was pretty offensive yesterday or a couple of days ago. This is just simply not. Oh my God.
Let me see if I can get this to work here.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna show you something. Here, I'm gonna.
It's probably not gonna work.
I'm going to show you something here afterwards. I'll actually just.
If I can get this thing to play here. Well, come on. Maybe they took it off so it won't play. Maybe they don't want people sharing it.
CNN?
Yeah, here we go. Let's see if it'll work this time. Once it loads. And this guy here is from CNN. That's the thing that got me about it. And Of course, they're trying to downplay it, you know, like,
They always do.
well, come on, load up. Man, they got the slowest thing here.
Chances could be that they lowered the.
That's what I'm thinking. They're throttling back on the internet, you know, is what they're doing to keep it alive so people can, you know, do whatever.
It could be
but
that, or it just in itself, it could be just Facebook, because Facebook is not like really. Remember their algorithm, right? They're
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that, like, you know, oh, our algorithms are the ones that are not showing anything that has to do with COVID,
Right. Yeah.
right? So, you know, again, you know, it just could be that it's just Facebook, and they don't actually want people to be talking about things like this. Remember before we'd stream to these guys and you say a keyword and they'd start fucking around with your
Yeah, with the
stream?
stream. Yeah.
So it just could be we're you know, dealing with the very same thing. Amy just shared an image with me, which I'm going to post up here really quick. This is what's happening.
Oh, come on. Why ain't this thing?
Very disturbing image. Yeah, my computer's being slow too. I'm on Wi-Fi too, right? I'm not hardwired.
Oh, this is hardwired. I'm right into Ethernet. This thing should be like super fast here.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's a lot of funny memes going around too, right? Lots of funny memes
Oh, yeah.
that are going around, and I got one.
Oh, come on. Load up. Let's play. Let's go. It's yeah, they're not they're not letting it go. They're not gonna let it. Ah, ain't that something?
Look at this. Suddenly our internet slowed right down. Weird.
Yeah. Ain't that something? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just look for it someplace else. Ain't that something? That's crazy. Yeah, it won't load because either Facebook or somebody else is stopping it from going. They're not letting us show it, but I have other means. I'm mean like that. We have ways of making you speak.
So here, Amy just pulled this up under breaking news.
Cool.
Worldwide cases top 303,180, almost 13,000 dead. Italy deaths jumped 19% to 4825. Cases rise to 53,578 in the U.S. Infections exceed 17,000. Fatalities top 220. Bedside test gets FDA authorization. UK fatalities increased to 233 from 177 in one day. France deaths rise to 562 from 450 a day earlier. Vice President Pence to be tested for COVID-19.
Wow.
Yeah, my messenger, for some fucking strange reason now, also doesn't want to pop up. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we've been seeing some pretty funny memes out there, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So here's one. China released the names of the first 3 that caught the coronavirus. Something Wong. Holy fuck.
Something wrong.
You die soon.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Now, if I can get this to load, hopefully we can. I wanted people to see this. I just wanted to show them exactly what's happening.
Maybe that has nothing to do with. Oh, that's something else.
It's probably just a guy on bail that didn't show up and
I thought it was because he had a virus.
cut his thing off, and he thinks the cops aren't going to chase him because they're busy. But he underestimates.
Okay, let me share this. Let me see if I can. Hopefully this is going to work. Oop. This is something that people get a kick out of, I think.
Start watching for just 99 cents. True. Serve all month long, only on Rock Nation.
For clarity, Dr. Fauci said there is no magic drug for coronavirus right now, which you would agree. I guess on this issue,
I think we only disagree a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I disagree. Maybe and maybe not. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. We have to see. We're going to know.
Is it possible that your impulse to put a positive spin on things may be giving Americans a false sense of hope?
No, I don't think so.
Representing preparedness right now.
No, I don't think so. I think that I think it's got
the not yet approved drug.
Now listen to the stupid ass reporter.
Look, it may work and it may not work. And I agree with the doctor what he said. May work, may not work. I feel good about it. That's all it is, just a feeling. I'm a smart guy. I feel good about it. And we're going to see. You're going to see soon enough. And we have certainly some very big samples of people. If you look at the people, you have a lot of people that are in big trouble. And this is not a drug that obviously, I think I can speak from a lot of experience because it's been out there for over 20 years. So it's not a drug that you have a huge amount of danger with. It's not like a brand new drug that's been just created that may have an unbelievable monumental effect, like kill you. We're going to know very soon. And I can tell you, the FDA is working very hard to get it out. Right now, in terms of malaria, if you want it, you can have a prescription. You get a prescription. And by the way, and it's very effective. It works. I have a feeling you may, and I'm not being overly optimistic or pessimistic. I sure as hell think we ought to give it a try. I mean, there's been some interesting
I like
things.
that language. Sure as hell.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. We have nothing to lose. You know, the expression, have to lose. Okay.
So what do you say to Americans? John, go ahead. What do you say to Americans who are scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed,
look at his face,
who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. I think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope.
There you
and
go.
You're doing sensationalism, and the same with NBC and Comcast. I don't call it Comcast. I call it Comcast. Let me just for whom you work. Let me just tell you something. That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism. Let's see if it works. It might and it might not. I happen to feel good about it, but who knows? I've been right a lot. Let's see what happens, John.
Can I get back to the science and the logistics?
You're gonna be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I love it. And I gotta say something here, and it's just when this kind of shit happens, what I'm saying, I have to give him a big pat on the back for holding his tongue. I mean, I would have said a hell of a lot more, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, sure.
Unbelievable, but he's telling them like it is. Look, basically what he's saying is, shut up. You're the one scaring the hell out of people, Here is something that we might be able to use. We might be able to help people. And, you're just trying to make this whole thing into a freaking scare tactic thing or whatever, make up your own news story kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's get down to it.
I bet you won't see that guy in the White House anymore.
Well, if he's got guts, good luck with him, But
So here is a a link that Amy just pulled up.
Okay.
It was published March 21st, 2020 by John Hopkins University. It says, how long can COVID-19 live on surfaces? So I'll just quickly read this, just a couple of paragraphs. It says, according to a recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, can live in the air and on surfaces between several hours and several days. The study found that the virus is viable for up to 72 hours on plastic, 48 hours on stainless steel, 24 hours on cupboards, and 4 hours on copper. It is also detectable in the air for 3 hours.
Mm. Wow.
Caroline, it just goes on now. It says, yeah, that's really the, right here. It says, Mitch Hammer, what's getting a lot of press and is presented out of context is that the virus can last on plastic for 72 hours, which sounds really scary. But what's more important is the amount of virus that remains. It's less than 0.1% of the starting virus material infections is theoretically possible, but unlikely at the levels remaining after a few days. People need to know this. So that's good to know. While the New England Journal of Medicine study found that COVID virus can be detected in the air for 3 hours in nature, respiratory droplets sink to the ground faster than the aerosols produced in this study.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying about panspermia. You see what I'm saying? So it basically fits. It's you know, yeah, it can linger in the air. Wow.
I'm sharing my screen there, Clarence, and here, keep this picture in mind. This is quite disturbing.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about earlier. This is sad. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So keep this image in mind. Remember this picture: when you take more food than you need, this is the consequence. And this goes back to that woman that was in tears, looking for simply just basic food, right? Bread, eggs, cheese, milk, things like that, right?
Got the shelves behind her with all the stuff that's left behind and everything, the full shelves back there and everything else. But she's probably like in a bread aisle or something that, you know, just totally wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very sad.
It is. Yeah.
Very, very sad. Here, I'm going to give it a angry.
Rob says he actually saw that at the grocery store yesterday. Yeah, very sad deal. Yeah. Makes you scared, I tell you. Makes you worried. Especially
absolutely. Here in the private chat, I shared that link to that video that I was playing earlier. If somebody wants to watch it, maybe you can post that. Maybe you can post that in the live comments there. But really, besides that, you know, I got not too much more to say.
You know, Rob made a good comment there. He says she shouldn't even be out of the house. Someone should be shopping for her. You know, and that's very true. You know, that's very true. And you know, you know, up here in Minnesota and stuff, we have what they call CPAs, which is you know, a personal caregiver. You know, PCAs, and you know, they're hired by the county and stuff, and they go to houses and they help wash dishes and clothing and stuff like that, you know, and you know, they do shopping and stuff for people that need it, you know, and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But we need a lot more of that, you know. But yeah,
healthcare assistants in Canada do the same thing. That's what Amy is, healthcare assistant, and that's what she does.
Activities of daily living is what we do.
What's it called?
Instrumental activities of daily living. So
yeah, we have the same thing. Yeah.
Housekeeping, you know,
yeah.
Light housekeeping.
Yeah, that's very cool. David Rucker, I'm not a very scared and paranoid person. However, I can't imagine if me and my small family with a 3 and 10-year-old and get the virus. I hope we'll be okay, but definitely worried at this point in time. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. You got a very young family. I see the pictures of your beautiful family all the time that you share, and you know, hopefully you guys don't get it. keep the kids inside. So far, from what we understand, this disease really doesn't doesn't really have detrimental consequences on children 9 and younger,
Right.
but they do become carriers, and they do transmit to to their parents and older siblings, kind of what have you, right? So very important to keep them indoors, and just batten up the hatches, brother, and lock the doors, shut the windows, because this thing is airborne.
Yep.
And having the windows open, like I have my window open right now, and I'm beginning to think that maybe I should close mine.
Yeah,
but
well, and that's the thing. You just never know,
yeah,
and until they can actually come down with some type of scientific studies on this, and that's the thing. It just hits so fast and so hard that everybody's caught with their pants down, basically,
yeah,
and so they're trying their best to figure out what can and can't be done, and the best thing to do is separation, and wash your hands, do your thing like you normally would, and just like we said, pumping gas, getting groceries, doing this and that, opening a door. You got to be really careful about what you do and how you do it,
yeah.
So people don't stop and think about things that you do in everyday life that, involves other people,
Here's
You have
another
to
headline.
really change your way of thinking, You got to
Yeah.
not only outlook for yourself, but for others. Yeah.
Here's another headline out of the Vancouver Sun. Vancouver man attacked by stranger who coughed in his face.
Oh,
Colin Knowles says a stranger coughed deliberately in his face and then attacked him outside the Granville Street SkyTrain station on Thursday.
Oh, my
Knowles
God.
suffered a broken nose and a lost tooth in the assault handout.
Wow.
And hey,
They're going around coughing on everybody.
yeah, they're going around coughing on people. So again, like
Why
people
would
like
they
that,
do that? What is wrong with people?
yeah, I
Oh,
know.
my God.
Same thing I was saying. I think about the same thing, and that's like what we were saying earlier, that
Gee.
people like these should be detained and and locked up until this crisis is over, because obviously they are a threat to communities
Absolutely.
and to the public health, and just lock them up, throw away the key, feed them once a day, and if you remember to, because obviously they don't have any respect for human life, so
No.
we can treat them the same way and say, why should we have any respect for you?
I hope the guy sues him. I really do. I hope they nail him.
We can't sue people in Canada.
Oh, you can't. No.
No, we can't sue people like we can in the United States, unfortunately. But even then, that's not really gonna solve the problem right now. I think what would solve the problem is go around and detain these people and just simply lock them up and leave them there
Yeah.
until this is done and over with. Because obviously they're a threat to the community.
That reminds me of the guy, the basketball player there. And he's the reason why there's no basketball games right now.
Yeah.
Where he got up and got tangled up in the cords, and then he deliberately touched all the microphones and everything, and stuff, making a big deal about it. Come to find out, he wound up having COVID, and they had to shut the whole damn NHL down. So,
yeah, goes to show it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah, stupidity is stupidity.
Right? And that's all there is to it, right? Doesn't matter what he is. His actions clearly showed his level of intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's something positive. Talking a lot of negative here.
Yeah.
Right? Let's throw a little love in here. Here's a comment from VJ. Says, after 2 weeks of self-imposed quarantine for my family, I finally got to hug my daughter and granddaughter today. Nice. That's very nice. See, those are good stories. I like that.
Yeah.
Throw some.
She also made a good point too here. She just said that for the last 6 months I was having my groceries delivered, but they have suspended delivery and pickup service, and now I have no choice. She's got to go out by herself. So, yeah. And that's true too. I mean, I know other people that have called stores and stuff, and they're like, "No, we're not delivering." Same thing with fast food. no deliveries. You know,
Yeah,
but you can.
Uber's delivering.
Well, they are and they aren't. A lot of
They're
Uber
not
drivers, are not becoming Uber drivers. They're not doing it. So, yeah.
I would suggest to buy flour and yeast and make your own bread at home. Um, you know, many things can be done with flour, right?
Yeah.
Flour is also heavy. It has a lot of the properties that we need to stay healthy and stay full, right? Like minerals and things like that.
Hmm.
Flour has. So
Yeah, I
if
bought
you
that
go ahead and
frozen bread dough just in case myself.
yeah, we,
Yeah.
we bake our own bread. Thankfully, we have a bread maker that our oldest son gave Amy for Mother's Day a couple of years ago,
Cool.
and we've just been abusing that bread maker.
Nothing
And
wrong with that. Yeah.
Amy makes some fantastic bread, and it's a very simple recipe. So maybe I'll get Amy to post it, and and then people can use that recipe. It's very simple. What is it, baby? Like flour, yeast.
With 1.5 cups of water, 2.5 teaspoons yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 4 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of oil, and 2 teaspoons of salt.
Yeah, and that's it. And
Wow.
you got delicious bread.
Cool.
Trust me, it's really good. We make it all the time. So small recipes like that, and also, guys, in the comments for next time somebody comes and watches this, maybe if you guys have recipes that are simple and and these products are available, then please post those recipes
Yep.
in the comments, and hopefully somebody can use it. I also have a Facebook group called Feeding Ya Tasty Shit. It's all based on food and recipes and things like that. So if you guys want to join that group, look it up, Feeding Ya Tasty Shit, and join the group and post the recipes. Like the one that Amy just gave, just a very basic recipe. It doesn't take too much effort to make, and maybe that'll help people, who are not able to get food, or people have hoarded and they couldn't get what they need, and they just have whatever that's in the cupboard.
Right.
So go in your cupboards and see if you guys can come up with a recipe and toss it into the comments, or come into my group and make a post and start sharing this stuff. So this is going to become very important in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yep.
Obviously, supply chains are only going to last as long as people are healthy, and they're saying that in Canada, 30 to 70% of people will be infected with this, with 100,000 deaths
Mhm.
just this year. So supply chains can and will be compromised, right? So our stores may not be getting stocked up as often as they normally would. So it would be really appreciated if you guys just find basic recipes of what's in your cupboard recipe, right?
Yep.
And just toss them out there so people can use them, and they don't think to themselves. Not all of us are culinary artists, right?
Exactly.
Not all of us have recipes just coming out of our yin yangs. And so it's always nice to see a recipe and you can say, oh, 2 cans of beans and a tomato and corn and blah blah blah. You go look in your cupboard and you got that, and there you go, right?
Yep.
And you got a stew, or you have something to eat. And I would even go as far as to say that keep your social distance, but go to your neighbors and ask them if they're okay,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Find
Check
out
in
if
on
they're
'em.
okay. Yeah, especially if they have young families, right? Children, and if you have some food in your home that that you're not going to eat, or you think that this family will be better off with it, give it to them. Make like a small hamper and give it to them. Go check out on the elderly, give them food, milk, whatever that they need, right? Go and give it to them, because this will be karma that will come back to you. Billy Crawford, or not Billy Crawford, but Billy Carson was saying, and and a number of my other guests that have said the same thing, where it's karma, it'll come back. Put positive out, and positive will come back in. And
Exactly.
right now, we need each other, especially with the type of followingship that we have. Then people that view these types of streams are very enlightened people. So you guys are already vibrating at a high frequency, and a distortion. Raise that even higher by starting to do good for your community and your neighbors and kind of what have you.
Exactly. That picture's for you, Rob. Don't sneeze on your computer.
Yeah, Peter says food is going to be like gold now.
Yes.
Bread makers, right? Abusing the bread maker, Omar.
Exactly.
Rob says, does that make my recipe book the wealthiest book known to man? Worth millions.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I could do a video on how to make the ultimate peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I can do that. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so I put the name of my group, my food group, Amy and I's food group, down in the comments. I didn't put a link in. It's just it is what it is. Just go up into your search bar, put in "feeding you tasty shit," and it should come up. You guys join, and I'll accept all of you, and start putting your recipes up, because we're all gonna need it.
Yeah.
If you got condensed milk, I'm sure everybody has condensed milk in their cupboards, or they have powdered milk in their cupboards, right? Find a recipe or how you can use it and toss it up there.
Absolutely.
Oats. Things to buy right now, guys, is lentils, oats, rice, and flour.
Yeah.
Those are the four basic principles that you need. Salt and sugar as well. Because we know that salt and sugar, we need that. So, those 6 basic things you have, you won't go hungry.
No,
Right?
that's
You
for
can always
sure.
make like a split pea soup, or you can make like an Indian dal. You can make stew out of lentils, very high in protein, and very
Yeast.
good for you.
Somebody's lining up
Yep.
here.
Julie says yeast. Yeah, absolutely. Grab some yeast.
Doctors in Barrie have reported second death from COVID-19 at their hospital, raising Ontario's total death toll to 3.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's climbing.
Still going. Yep.
Ontario
Sad.
hasn't really has been hit hard as British Columbia has been, but
Yeah.
I would imagine that those numbers are going to climb. I have friends that live in Barrie,
Oh,
so
boy.
so I'm after the show, message them and make sure that that they're okay.
Yeah.
Rob says, I have a book of family recipes that go back through the generations of my family. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, things like that are worth sharing. So please share that, Rob. That would be much appreciated.
Well, I tell you what, this is something that, brings families together. Moms and dads and that can put on the old aprons, get the kids in there, teach them a few things about the kitchen, hell, give them a box of macaroni and cheese and let it cook them themselves, teach them how to cook macaroni and cheese and stuff, easy stuff,
Yeah.
things like that. Not only will it benefit, as far as food wise, but, you're doing something as a group, as a family, and
Yeah,
make it fun,
Yeah. And it can be
make a
part-
homemade pizza,
Yeah,
teach
it
them
could
how
be
to
like
make the dough. And, yeah, put the old cheese on it and the pepperoni and sauce and stuff, and let the kids make their own. They could even do it with bread. Their own French bread. So
yeah, vegetarian too.
yeah,
Doesn't have
absolutely.
to be a carcass that you're throwing on there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
Or
Yeah.
just vegetables. But I understand right now vegetables are hard to come by, right?
Yeah,
It's,
especially this
people-
time of year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are just buying everything up, and get canned vegetables if you can. I'm not really big on canned vegetables myself, but when times like this, Absolutely, man.
Grab what you
know,
can. Actually, I'd be really into the frozen and the canned right now more than the fresh. It makes me wonder if any of this stuff is actually sitting on the docks in the ports, coming from these other countries. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they're contaminated or not. I don't know how they're checking that, or if they need to check it, or if they wash them or whatever they do to them before they distribute them, That's the good question. I don't know how they would do that, but
I would just say to just wash your vegetables thoroughly.
Yeah.
Right?
Use things that have skin on them that you can peel. That would be the best thing, that would be a good recommendation.
I usually leave the skin on the vegetables because all the nutrients are in the skin. Right. So I usually, like potatoes and carrots and things like that, right? I usually just leave the skin on, but I use a brush to wash each vegetable. So I would it's good practice anyways, regardless whether it's a pandemic or not. It's just good practice to wash your vegetables, and if you're not into the skin, just peel it off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Julie says
you don't
all
want to
my
be
kids and grandkids are too far away.
right? So when you're peeling your food, you're throwing away food. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Julie says all my kids and grandkids are too far away. Just me and the old man. The pups like to help me in the kitchen. That's funny. Cool.
Our Gilbert's the same way. He likes to jump on the counters and go at top of the cupboards and sit up there and watch us while we're cooking. We only have one at home right now. The other two are grown up and moved out.
There you go.
One that we do have at home, suddenly he finds himself on the front lines. And this is a really bonus thing that that I heard today. Save on Foods, where my son works, they're giving during this pandemic, they've given everybody a $2 raise, and they've pushed it back to March the 8th. Right.
Wow.
So, whatever hours that they had starting from March 8th until now, they'll get compensation. So an extra $2 an hour.
Wow.
So that's really cool. And this is what I was talking about earlier, Clarence, when, in our last show, that, I've been calling for something like this for a long time, to where everybody just sit down, go on a global strike to help to crash the central bank and our economy. So that the value of the worker is more essential than profit, and and this is like a little flicker of light in the darkness, where Save on Foods has acknowledged the value of the worker, and they're compensating the worker based on their value rather than how much profit that they're going to make. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come, and in the future. And I really do hope that the central bank crashes and our economies worldwide crash. I'm really hoping for that, and go into a severe depression or severe recession, whatever it may be.
Right.
I'm really hoping for it, because after that, the economic system that would have to be rebuilt would be based on the worker rather than the corporation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Be careful what you ask for, I guess. And, and I've been asking for this for a very long time. And in fact, I've dedicated a huge space in my book, Earth Frequency, to talking about this. And, and I've said it many, many times, people just need to sit down, don't pay your rent, don't pay your mortgage, don't go to work, don't go to school, don't do nothing. And, fortunately, this is happening. But I always knew that there would be a massive death toll from it, just because the phantom people, right, the citizen persons out there acting the way they do. I always knew that something like that would happen, but I didn't suspect that there would be a virus like this.
Right.
I thought that it would be mostly due to like shootings and stabbings and robbings and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
well, it definitely caught us by surprise, no matter how you look at it, and unfortunately, we're all caught up in this together, so this is how it goes, but sad deal.
VJ has a great comment here. She says, to keep things from going bad, a lot of things can be cooked ahead of time, cooled and frozen, then just microwave to heat up.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, good call. Normally, I don't like to radiate my food, but
Right.
in times like these, right, to conserve the food, and it's necessary. So it's something that we may end up doing. But most important thing here, guys, is the frontline workers, grocery store workers, nurses, doctors, the ones that are coming out of retirement, that are calling, stepping up to the call of duty. You have to remember these doctors are, retired, so they're elderly,
Yeah.
right? They're putting their lives at risk. And same with the nurses who've retired and are coming back. They're elderly, and they're putting their lives at risk. People working at grocery stores, stocking shelves, cashiers, they're putting themselves at great risk. And we need to appreciate that, and and keep their health in mind when we go to the store. I can't say that enough. I don't know how many times I've said that just during this broadcast, but I'm just going to keep on saying it, and practice it as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not just going to walk the walk or talk the talk. I got to walk the walk here as well. Look up blanching vegetables, also freeze any leftover veggies to add to soups. Yes.
Yeah, Julie
Yes.
wrote that. Yep. Good job.
I see.
Yeah, Kevin, you're absolutely right. Kevin says, it's sad it's taken this for everyone to come together. And that's, yeah, absolutely.
And even that's not happening, Sir Kev.
No.
We're still not coming together because look at the headlines that we've read. People running up, people coughing on their faces. What was that? DJ tried to give gloves to the cashier, refused to take them. People panic buying all over the world.
Yep.
It's just we're still not coming together. It's just a very small group of people that are coming together.
It reminds me of a song that John Lennon did back in the day, and I'm sure everybody knows the song really well, but it's called Imagine.
Yeah.
I suggest everybody give that a good listen because that's exactly what we're going through right now.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
I see we got Star Child in the house.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, one of my very good friends. So welcome, Star. Nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well. I know you have kids with young families, so I hope that you guys are safe and doing well down there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Always worry about you. We've been friends for many years now, and kind of like a sister from another mother, kind of like the same relationship you and I have, Clarence, and
cool.
Sir Kev and I have. We have a very strong relationship, being friends for a long time now. So, I'm always worried about you. So, please take care. And I know you cook, so get on that feeding you tasty shit and share some recipes, Star.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
I know you cook some really tasty shit too. So
I tell you what, I gotta hand it to everybody that shows up on our channels, whether we're talking about UFOs and aliens or we're talking about COVID updates and world news. It's just amazing, how much you guys care, and you're always with us and stuff, regardless. And I really do appreciate it. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for that. No doubt about it. Awesome stuff. And we even went and checked Omar's stats here the other day. And how far were you reaching, Omar? You were all over globally, also.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Micronesia, Australia, Russia, India, a lot of European countries, South America.
Yeah.
So a really strong global reach, and my page is not that big. This is my new page, Observing Humanity Outside of the Cube. Before it was Watchers Talk, but then Watchers Talk was heavily censored and heavily shadow banned, and I couldn't put anything on there that could be shared. Right. So, that page had, like 25, 30,000 followers. And, I could imagine what the stats on that would have been by now. But,
exactly.
it wasn't meant to be, so it's not. And so I just had to reshape Watchers Talk, and and now I call it, it's still Watchers Talk, but really observing humanity outside of the cube. So essentially what that means is that I've detached myself from inside the cube, and I'm now just an observer that's, observing what's going on. The reason why I didn't call it outside of the box is because, one, my friend has a group and a page called Outside the Box, so I didn't want to look like I was stealing her name.
Right.
But second, I decided to go with the cube is because the three major religions on the planet, the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, are all based on Saturnistic cube worship. And, and as you guys may know, I'm not really into the religion program, and the most of the world has become a victim to these three mind programs. So that was one of my reasons, because the hexagon on the north pole of Saturn is a flattened out cube.
Right.
So because the world is infected by this brain program, and I've detached myself from it. So that's why I say that I'm observing humanity from outside of the cube, meaning that I'm not attached to that religion brain program, right? So it's growing slowly, and hopefully it continues to grow and it doesn't get shadow banned again, and censored like the way it did. But here's a little bit of news. My Saturn presentation will be complete here in the next week, and
Cool.
April 4 and 5, Clarence is doing the contacts with the closer encounters, which is going to be UFO and extraterrestrial contact based, where we'll do webinars and panel discussions and one-on-one interviews, and show some videos and things like that.
Yeah, it's going to run 8 hours both days, so it's going to be a 16 total hour deal, split into 2 days. So it's going to be 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday. So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah. And if any of you people out there know of any contactees that would like to come on and talk, whatever, please, let us know one way or the other. I did make a post about it, shared it around. I also made an event page on it. So, just shoot us a message, one way or the other, how to get a hold of them, or, whoever. And we will be discreet with them if that's what they're worried about. Not a problem. We'll set it up any way they want. So, but
yeah, absolutely. So far, we've got lining up a pretty good lineup. We have Elka. I've had her on my show about a year and a half ago. She's part of the secret space program, whistleblower kinda, and so she's quite familiar with extraterrestrial contact, right? She can decipher between real and fake. And so she'll be on there. We've got Stephen Erdman. He's been researching UFOs since the 60s. So wealth of knowledge there. Also, we got Robert Morningstar lined up. He's been researching UFOs again since the 1960s. I'm in talks with Mr. Peter Robbins. He's one of the foremost UFO researchers on the planet.
Yeah, we got Leonard O'Neill is going to be with us there from Orion Rising.
Yeah, right? Leonard will be helping us host the event, and and then Clarence is talking to a couple of people that will hopefully be part of this event.
And we have our own Alex is going to be with us. Yeah, we'll have an interview with Alex.
Yeah, Alex is there as well.
Yep.
So he'll be on there, and and my webinar will be. I'll do my webinar on Sunday, April the 5th, and that's UFO based essentially. alien related, because I talk about the archons, the reptilians. That is I don't know how much ET I can get with that.
Yeah.
So here I'm sharing my screen, Clarence.
Yes.
Just wanted to do a quick shout out.
That's an awesome poster. I love how he made that.
A buddy of mine, Dave Armstrong, he designed this poster for us for this event coming up, and you guys, have seen a lot from Dave. A lot of my posters for events such as this, he does them. He does this professionally. So thank you very much to my buddy Dave Armstrong. And if you guys are looking to get some art done, or are interested in his work, just look him up. And I will actually, in the after the video's over, I will paste a link to his page, and you guys can go and check that out. But I want to say, thank you very much, Dave, for putting this together for us, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome job, absolutely.
You guys will be seeing this around, and Clarence made a event on Closer Encounters. Go and check that out, and share that around. And really, that's it, brother. I think that's pretty much.
But don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to be here, and we will do a show about panspermia. So
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting show. We haven't really touched base on it too much, other than what you've been watching lately. But we'll gather up everything we can on it, and we'll throw it out there to you tomorrow. So should be a pretty interesting show for everybody.
Yeah, it should be. And if you guys, like you said, you guys want to join in and come and throw your 2 cents in and have a discussion with us, we'll toss the link into the comments, and you're more than happy to we'll be more than happy to have you on. But again, just keep in mind that it's going to be panspermia based only.
Right.
We're not going to be discussing any other topic, like aliens and UFOs and COVID or whatever the case may be, right? It's just strictly based on panspermia, because we kind of want to understand how this disease came onto our planet. And like I was saying earlier, I think your theory holds a lot more water than what's going on around out there, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Let's connect some dots and look at other events in history that have had similar effect and causes, and see if we can't connect the dots, brother.
Mm-hmm. Vida wants to know what time Australia time. Well, right now I have 6:45 Central Time, so it will be basically 6 o'clock my time. So whatever time you got right now, it will be 45 minutes earlier.
I think that'll be the following day, around 11, 12 o'clock, something like that.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
I've done many interviews out of Australia, and it seems it's about a 16, 17-hour difference.
I believe so.
From the Pacific Standard Time, right? So if I do my show here at like 10 o'clock in the morning, let's say, it's the following day there at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. So I'm not really sure. I get confused with these timelines, especially when it goes over like 8 hours.
Yeah. Right now, I believe it's 8:47 her time right now, if I'm not mistaken, which is
8:47 a.m. the next day.
PM, it says. Oh, wait a minute now. Is that right?
Oh, no, it can't be PM, so that would mean that she's 30 hours ahead of us. It's impossible.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
I could see 8:30 a.m. Is it 8:30 a.m.?
No, it says PM on this one, on what I was looking up at. Vida says yes. Okay. Rob says
in the afternoon.
Yeah. What time is it right now there, Vida? Just for grunge and chuckles. And what day is it? We can figure this out real easy.
Holy shit. Wow.
I don't think that was right. That I just Googled that. I don't think that was right. Didn't sound right. Because I know when I talked to our good buddy there, Colin, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning whenever I would talk to him. So, it would be the next morning. So,
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's Sunday. It says Sunday. It's AM, I'm sure. Yeah, it's got to be about 8:30 in the morning there because it's
she
5
says
o'clock.
she says it's 10:70 or 10 o'clock in the morning now, or 10:47 or whatever. Yeah, morning 10.70. Yeah. Julie says it's 10:48 a.m. Australian time now. Okay, yeah, and that'd be Sunday morning, right?
Yeah, so they're 17 hours ahead. How about that? Yeah,
wow.
yeah, about that. I kind of figured 16, 17 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So we're going at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So that would be
10 o'clock.
4 o'clock my time. So
10,
that would be
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. for you Monday morning.
Yep. 10 o'clock Monday morning for you guys in Australia. Yep.
All right, brother. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah. Time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah, time flies. I was just looking at the clock. I was like, holy shit, so already 5 o'clock. Wow,
Yeah.
where did the day go?
Exactly.
I didn't get out of bed till like 10:30, so half the day disappeared right there.
Sounds good. Okay, so yeah, we got that figured out anyway. So yeah, please join us tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock a.m. for Aussie time. Cool. Wow, it's so different being on the other side of the world, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. All righty. Okay, folks, I am sure glad that you were with us tonight, and I hope we brought out some insight for you, and stuff. And like we always tell you, just keep the faith, help one another, help yourselves, whatever. But yeah, just do what we got to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. We got to do what we got to do, but make sure that the person behind you doesn't get screwed over.
Yes, exactly.
We got
Okay.
shit to do, man. Shit to do. So remember, guys, go to Feeding Your Tasty Shit and post some recipes on there. Basic food recipes, nothing complicated. That takes like 50 spices.
Exactly.
Something basic, salt and pepper, whatever's in the cupboard. Call it the cupboard recipe.
Exactly right. Awesome.
Lots of comments.
Okay, folks, until we meet again, thank you all very, very much for being here.
Star Child, you're central, so it would be same time as Clarence, so 6 p.m. for you, buddy.
Yep, 6 o'clock. Okay, everyone, have a good evening. Thank you. I want to thank you all for listening to Closer Encounters. Please remember to like, follow, and share. And until we meet again, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you. Thank you, guys.